All right, we're back with brand news.
Welcome back.
So, brand news for August. We've got 2 articles, one hot off the press and one more of a study, more of an understanding of what brands and businesses are seeing in their own advertising. Let's start with that one because it's very relevant to our longer form podcast that we just did on LinkedIn advertising. This one is from Marketing Interactive. It's about a study and it states 93.5% of brands prefer LinkedIn for social media marketing campaigns. Now, to dig into that a little bit further, that 92.8% of businesses also said LinkedIn offered the best engagement rates for them. So this is percentage of respondents in this study, not necessarily hard facts from these platforms. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't get that at all. Maybe we're just doing LinkedIn wrong here as our business, and it's just something that we have had clients see success on the platform, but it would definitely not be the one that I would say, hey, businesses are going to get great results here. We've found it as probably a bit more of a challenging platform than other ones, but I mean, we focus very heavily on short form content and other style postings. So maybe it's just the type of content that we've been putting out on LinkedIn has probably not been as engaging as it needs to be there.
I imagine this stat was pulled out of a study and without consideration of how many of those respondents in the study were actually B2B businesses, where LinkedIn is probably the only channel that would be relevant for them in reaching a very specific service-based business or business that they were wanting to target. That's probably why LinkedIn is ranking so high for those respondents, because they know that they can reach their ideal customer in that platform alone.
Yeah, but I wonder whether this is also, people use it for their personal brand. And so maybe that they're finding, hey, I'm getting good traction with my posting on here. I'm posting our business stuff, so I'm finding this is a business platform. But I think from brand pages, it's potentially different. So maybe that we were just talking to Brent about the great engagement he's been getting from his posting from his personal page. So maybe it is the way that they're thinking about it is from their business side of things, but personal pages rather than company.
Yeah, I definitely find paid ads on LinkedIn are very expensive if you're especially paying for engagement. North of $5, $6, $7 per engagement or interaction. So I definitely wouldn't be one of the 92.8% that said it offered the best engagement rates from my experience.
Yeah, no. And again, maybe we're just doing it wrong. Maybe people are out there crushing it on LinkedIn, but not the numbers that we've experienced.
Yeah, absolutely. And further in this article, it does get into some detail around the type of content that these businesses are mostly posting to social media. It had blog posts and images at 87 and 92%. 92% for blog posts, and then short form video making its way up at 74.7%. My take on that, short form video is going to be the way to go in our experience. From what I've seen when we shift from client content to short form video from static posts, we see that automatic inclusion in the whatever newsfeed that channel is running. So whether it be Instagram for Reels or even if it's on LinkedIn, the short form video is where we get that reach.
Agree.
So the second article for brand news today is more of an update. This is hot off the press. We just thought best to share news, especially around the Australian advertising and marketing landscape as it happens. But this one is from the Sydney Morning Herald. But every major masthead is reporting on it. The article is Murphy's Law, gambling ad ban to be rejected in favour of caps. So a little bit more context here. There was a bill in front of the federal government that was almost going to get passed that would put a blanket ban on any advertising from gambling or gaming businesses, which would be millions upon millions of dollars in the media advertising landscape. Multiple agencies would really suffer from the loss of these clients. But the thinking there was a study done that identified advertising is the issue that's introducing more and more people to gambling and reintroducing those with a gambling problem back to gambling. So you can see where the reason for the bill came from and a backflip from the government there to instead impose caps on how much advertising can be done.
Some of these gambling ads are so good though.
Yeah,
Like I can see, like I don't gamble. Oh well, I do sometimes if I'm going to watch football because I don't really watch it, and it gives me something to keep it interesting. But they're great, the ads, and so I feel like that's they must work. If you're someone who's likely to could be convinced by watching an ad that you need to do a bet, they are great. So I guess if it is in people's best interest to they have problems, then probably it is a good way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to work for an agency that looked after multiple gaming brands in England, and it was quite disturbing that the thought that the target was to get 10,000 new funded accounts by the next football game and just reporting on these figures as though they're just numbers, but they're individuals that are going to start their journey into gambling, all because of performance media advertising. So,
yeah. But I guess it's like everything. Like a little bit of gambling isn't a big negative either. So I mean, it's like their businesses; they need to acquire customers. So their model must be get new people gambling. But I mean, as long as they've got things in place that isn't trying to encourage people to empty their life savings into their account, then hopefully it's can be done in a safe way.
Yeah, and I think caps is probably a good step forward.
Yeah, agree.
So that's it for Brand News this week. We'll be back shortly with more.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Bye.